All right, welcome to Friday at the Firm. You can see we're one short, actually two short, one short,
short. One of them was planned on not being here today.
Yeah,
and the other one's on the phone.
Yeah, but this is our time slot that we have to do it today because I've got to go, and I think Chris has got.
I've got something else coming up this afternoon.
So this is our short window. And so anyway, so today we are looking at, it's really finishing up a series around the Old Forester Whiskey Row series. And this is something that in the very first podcast we did, we talked about all four of the bourbons. But Chris said, hey, I think maybe the Statesman may be affiliated.
Technically it's not part of the group. But
you said it was there.
It is always put together. When you go to any liquor store here in Louisville, you'll see the four whiskey rows, which we just got finished doing. So that's the 1870, the 1897, the 1910, the 1920. But they always put this one in between those four up on the shelves. And it really is attractive looking. I mean, I see that happening on the bar at home because it looks nice.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
And so we were, right before we brought this out, we're like, well, we don't really know that much about it. Right. I mean, we knew something about it. And then Whitney was like, I think this has to do with this movie. It's a movie series.
She's a movie junkie. What's the name of it?
Well, it's the Kingsman series.
The Kingsman.
So it's not a movie, it's a series.
Yeah.
Okay,
series,
all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a series, and she said, oh, they're called The Statesman, right?
Well, there's 3 different movies, but Kingsman and there's...
Okay, got it.
So apparently I'm going to have to go binge these movies.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, we were like, does this have anything to do with it? And sure enough, she looked it up. And it does. That's one of the movies, right, Whitney?
That's like the last one.
Okay, the last one is called The Statesman. Anyway, It's kind of cool. And I have not heard of these, so they will be a show that I'll be watching because it talks about, I guess they're kind of secret FBI agents or something like that. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so we're testing The Statesman today.
And I have not tried this. Have you?
I have not had it, no.
It's fun to do one that none of us have tasted. I've heard nothing but good things, but I've never tasted it myself.
This is actually 95 proof.
Yep.
This is going to be in line with a 1910. It's kind of in that ballpark. The other ones were over 100, right?
No, one of them was 100. One of them was 115. The other two were 90 and 93.
Okay, so they were
So this is just slightly hotter than the 1910.
So, and you have not had this, right?
I have not, but the smell is fantastic. It's not overly strong, though.
It's sweet. It's very sweet.
Yes, it is. But I say that as a good thing.
No, it's a good thing. It's just, you can immediately tell it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's got some sweetness to it.
Yeah, that's very good.
It is really good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's very good, but I will tell you, it's not as good as the 1910, which is by far my favorite.
The 1910 was just
we did say this last week. We were going to do a blind test. That is something we are going to do. We just didn't have time to do it today because
we'll get that one out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, because Aaron's not here, and then we have obligations later on this afternoon outside of work. make sure we have that. There's a Brink guy. We ought to get him in here and do a sample test.
That would be interesting with the money bag on the table, right?
Yeah, that probably wouldn't go over very well. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on? I mean, it's. I want to put some ice in there, but
yeah, I'm going to try it that way. It tastes a little bit hotter. Now the first sip, I thought, well, I hadn't had anything yet, but after I had that second sip. This is a little bit hotter than what I expected, but not in a bad way. All the heat is in the mouth. You don't have that big Kentucky hug. I'm not feeling that. It is extremely sweet. Boy, you were right on that.
Yeah, it for sure is in the mouth. That's for sure. I'm like you. I didn't get anything on the back end. Yeah. This is so weird because you like stuff that's a little hotter. I like stuff that's a little milder, and yet you think it's a little hotter. I don't see it that way.
Okay, now, I just took my third sip.
Yep.
It's calming down a little bit, so, your mouth is getting a little bit desensitized to it. But, forget about how hot it is or how not hot it is. This really tastes good. This is something I wouldn't hesitate to just pour a glass of this and sit down and relax and enjoy it because it's good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's good.
I'm really curious what this one's going to do when I put the ice in it because I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like this better or not as much.
Yeah. All right, so while he's kind of chilling that out, Again, we stress this in every podcast we ever do. I think we'll continue to do it. And by the way, we're getting lots of good feedback.
Yeah, we are. Great feedback from last week.
Yeah, lots of good feedback on the show. People, I guess, kind of like it. They follow it. We got some pretty good suggestions. We actually had one suggestion that was Chattanooga 111, and actually we had done that.
We did that one last year, yeah.
About a year and a half or so ago.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, it was really good. So we are getting some repeats on suggestions. If we've already done them, we're going to continue to do stuff we haven't done yet. But we will certainly acknowledge when we get those. Just
heads up. I don't think you knew this yet. You suggested multiple times that we need to compile a list of what we've done and what everybody's ratings were. I did start working on that last week. It's obviously not, way up there on my priority list of things to do, so it may be a little while, but it's in the works, and we'll put that out where people can find it, and then you can see all of our ratings and our averages.
Yeah. Okay.
Something else that I want to point out before I talk about the bourbon again. We did an episode sometime last year where we talked about how we decorate bottles.
Yeah.
This would be a great bottle to decorate because there's no big label. Just this one is the only thing that blocks it out. This would look great with your golf tees in it. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of different things that I could do with that. So it's just a neat product. I like this.
Decorating it,
okay, yes. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Let's be clear.
Be clear.
Decorating it. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. When he has...
with ice in it, this is okay.
Yeah,
it's not a great bourbon with ice in it.
I would agree. I mean, it is a little bit. It watered down the taste a little, not a lot, but it did water down the taste some.
Yeah.
I still get a little bit of the sweet taste that really has. It's
but not as much as you were getting the first time, right?
No, I agree. It's not as much, but I still get the sweet taste.
Mm-hmm.
This would be interesting, and we say this. I think we say it in every podcast, but we're using ice out of the refrigerator, and so when you put ice in there, because it's very porous, I guess the alcohol gets in there and it melts the ice quicker, and so you don't typically get that when you go to a nice bourbon restaurant or you go to a restaurant. They give you a big solid block of ice. It doesn't melt anywhere near as fast, and so it just chills it out. So I'll bet you. Hey, what's up, Mr. FedEx guy? Anyway, so
you never know. Somebody's eventually going to come knock and say,
like the old man,
like the old guy.
But I'll bet you if you tried this over a big block of ice in a restaurant, I'll bet you it chills it out enough to where the flavoring doesn't get as diminished. Again,
I would agree.
This is one that I don't know from neat with a big block of ice that it would change as much as it did, but I don't. It didn't change that much. Like we've had some that were good, and then all of a sudden they're not good at all over ice. So this one's not that way. But it did take some of the flavor.
To me, this is very okay over ice, but I really enjoyed it neat. I wouldn't hesitate to buy this again. This was, I don't remember, $50, $52, so, kind of in that sweet spot for most bourbons. Neat. This is really good stuff. I would say at least a 7, maybe 7.5. I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again. Watered down, because that's what it is now. That ice cube's long gone.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I was going to get it, well, obviously I'm going to rate it. I'm going to compare this to the other Old Foresters we've done in that series. Not to say this is not part of the series, although we're kind of doing them in that way, but I would say it's going to come in nowhere near the 1910. That was by far my favorite. That was outstanding bourbon. Outstanding. I think it was the highest rating all 4 of us combined have ever given any bourbon. Well worth the money. The 1910 for sure. I actually went out this past weekend after we did that, and I bought a bottle of it.
Picked some up, yeah.
Yeah, because it was literally is that good. So, but I would tell you this is going to rank right there. So I think I gave that a 9. This is maybe a 7.5. I'm kind of with you, 7.5. But still, that's very good, by the way. But out of the Whiskey Row series, the 1910 is hands down by far the best one.
I don't remember what I rated all the different Whiskey Row series. I do remember I gave an 8.5 on the 1910 because I just watched it a couple of days ago. I'm going to kind of go ahead and set myself up for failure here and say, compared to the Whiskey Rows, this is not as good as the 1910.
Right.
The 1910 is what I would call it now has a permanent place on my bar at home.
Yeah.
When that bottle is gone, I'm going to go buy another one immediately.
Yep.
It is not as good as the 1870. It's very similar to the 1870, which we all really liked. I think it is better than the 1897. And I think it is better than the 1920.
I agree with both of those.
So when we go back here in a few weeks, and Miss Producer over here is going to pour little things, and we're all going to taste them, and we won't know which one it is. I may have just set myself up for failure. Who knows? We'll see how that pans out. But comparing this to the Whiskey Rose, it's in the middle, which
I would agree.
Maybe that's why they put it in the middle when they're displaying.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. It's in the middle. It's not by far the hottest of the worst, and none of them are terrible. The was it the 1920 was hot. It was
that was the 115 proof that was that prohibition.
Tough. Yeah, that was tough.
Medicinal grade, and I think I liked that better than everybody else, but it was not my favorite of the group.
Yeah, it was tough.
It's arguably the most desirable when you look on the bourbon, blogs and stuff like that. That's the one everybody wants. But
really,
yeah, everybody wants the 1920, and I'm kind of hoping that they will continue to, because then that 1910 is for us.
1910 out of there, because it's very good. Anyway, all right, so let's wrap up this week, because we got another one we're getting ready to shoot.
Hopefully Eric will be off the phone.
As soon as he's got to get off his phone call, and then we're going to shoot that one, because we're in a little bitty window that we have to shoot these today. So anyway, that's it for another week. Make sure you tune in each and every week. We review bourbons and give you our opinion. Mr. Producer has obviously shown the bottle up there a couple times. By the way, if you ever want to know how Chris decorates bottles, go back sometime last year.
We'll figure out which one that was.
Yeah, maybe we'll put them, I don't know, front and center or something, because that's it's kind of cool the way he does it. Mm-hmm. And then obviously I decorate them. I put actually wooden golf tees in there.
Are you still having trouble finding those golf tees?
They're not as easy. And then when you get them, they're more plasticky looking than they are.
Which doesn't have the same effect.
It doesn't have the same look. So, but I am finding them on Amazon, so you can find them. But anyway, cool bottle. To decorate, but again, he does a really cool job with his. It's a lot more decorative than what I do. But anyway,
I'm not that creative. I got the idea from a client.
That's all right. You can steal it.
And blatantly stole it, and he knows I do it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. All right, so anyway, that's it for another week. Make sure, if you want to check out all of our bourbons, go back to our YouTube channel or our website. You'll find all those. We also do another podcast.
Same thing.
We don't do webcasts here. I don't even know what those are.
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know if that's either.
I like it. Let's go with it. Yeah. Webcast.
So anyway, we do a podcast that's Family Love Planning Partners. It's called The Money Puzzle. We get that out every Wednesday, I believe, is when we post those. So make sure you subscribe to those. We also have a TV show that runs every Saturday morning on our ABC affiliate, WHS, 10:30 every Saturday morning, so make sure you catch that.
And the TV show is available on the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, we also put it on our YouTube channel, but we post it after it airs. So we have 2 or 3 new episodes that are coming. Well, I guess by the time this thing airs, we'll have one or two left.
We'll
have 1 or 2 left. New episodes, and then they'll run for repeat until we get back out to the studio to record some more shows. So anyway, with that being said, make sure that you subscribe to all of our podcasts. And I guess what are we doing next?
I think it's pretty much it. The next one, I believe, is going to be, because Eric wanted to do it and he's stuck on the phone.
Which one is it?
It's the Basil Hayden,
toast.
if I'm saying that right, toasted.
Yeah, toasted.
We've done Basil Hayden before.
Yep.
But this will be the toasted version, which...
And I've had it.
You've had it.
Yeah, I've had it.
I know I've had it, and we'll talk about when, but I don't remember whether I liked it or not.
Yep.
So we'll find out.
And I got a really cool story about Basil Hayden as well. And that will come. I'll tell that story next week. So anyway, off to another week. You guys have a good weekend, and we will see you guys next week.